I'm here today to tell you why I smile. For you, a smile is a reflex of 12 muscles in synchronization designed to elevate your mood. For me, and others like me, a smile is an art that we polished and honed until it shone brighter than the real thing. My story will not be easy for you. Let me warn that you may squirm. Look for a sympathetic recognition from the person on your left and right. You will roll your eyes at your partner or your newly made stranger friend for relief. You may experience denial in the following forms. If you are a person of color, you will think, she's talking about white people again. Yeah, I hear you, sister. Or if you're a nondescript white person, she's talking about those white people. Should that fail, you will grab your phone and frantically tweet your hypotheses to your virtual tribe. How the judges chose this story out of a twisted need for neoliberal discourse and the inclusion of voices from developing countries. Better yet, it was switched in the last minute in fear that this author is so clearly in need of therapy that she may harm herself. No, more likely, she will crash tonight's reading if she is not heard. But trust me, collective discomfort will not speed the process. Like any effective antiseptic, it needs to burn and sting, marinating in the wet, raw stink of an open wound before it is accommodated and absorbed by the body. Let no one tell you that the process of healing is without pain. I come from a land built by kings for kings. We have never known anything else. Our first king washed on our shores unexpectedly, exiled from everyone he had loved. Quickly, he learned he had a unique talent for coercing people to doing his will. And while this didn't make him any happier, the feeling was almost as good as happiness until he could no longer tell the difference. Well, neither could the Dutch, or the Portuguese, or the English. It was a long line of power absorbing power. Until 2,000 years later, when we held the tension between our own two hands as free people, the power was too much, too unwieldy, and it turned inward on itself and our island until it imploded in a civil war. But this isn't what I came to say. Today, I'm here to talk about you. You step off the plane and sigh at how beautiful our island is. You are greeted by a warm reception of fresh juice, warm towels, and a chorus of locals clad in vivid colors, smiling and murmuring welcomes. You think, have you ever been anywhere so charming? Still, you are dismayed by the wave of thick, wet heat that hits you, the cacophony of spluttering engines and the throngs of people heckling you to take a ride with them in rusted vehicles that look patchwork together from 4 or 5 different cars. You exhale in thanks when you see a driver next to a newish car with your name placard. You tell the driver you want a real experience. Yeah. You want the real side of our island. You beg him to take you to his hometown, but it has not escaped him that you are sitting in an air-conditioned car with your eyes widening at the clanking of the overfilled buses, narrowly clipping motorbikes before careening down the one-come two-way road. When he drops you off, we know you expect that a place have that sterility that you like. Tropics or no, you've suffered heat and insects and dust and you just want a cold beer and Wi-Fi and a place to relax and breathe, you know. The driver smiles and doesn't answer. You won't let his disappointment dampen your spirit of adventure. You tell the driver to stop by a roadside fruit stall. You want a couple of guavas, but read in a book that you need to haggle. $2, you say? Your voice rising before gesturing to a petite, wiry man nearby. I'm sure this fellow only pays 50 cents. The truth is, he will pay nothing if we like him. He starts his day before sunrise, wading out to hoist himself splinter-flecked and toe-cramped on a roughly cushioned pole to fish. The lack of integrity of this fruit seller, you grumble. Can you speak to him? There is no trace of irony in your voice, so I smile and say I will see what I can do. You see a group of huffing, red-faced tourists crowing loudly at the sight of a Pizza Hut, as if it were a local landmark you travel thousands of miles to see. But finding a piece of your civilization is comforting. It's a hopeful sign that perhaps one day this island will be more developed. And by developed, you mean more like you. You watch this group of tourists and something about it nettles you. Out of nowhere, you confess, I'm actually from Hong Kong. My grandfather came to Hong Kong in the 30s and built a hugely successful construction company on little more than the 2 shoes on his feet. I work 80-hour weeks to keep my grandfather's legacy alive. You say this meaning well. You say this to tuck nagging guilt away. You say this in a frustrated response to the fact that you have not seen one hospital or school so far. In truth, you have seen them. You just mistook them for, I don't know, condemned housing? These feelings, meaning well, guilt, anger, they do not matter to me, or to your driver, or to the fisherman. Is it so hard to acknowledge your hard work, whilst also recognizing our hard work, and admitting a great bit more than just work have to do with your material success? Please, you say, can we stop so I can take a picture of the view? You are always unfailingly polite because you know we'll say yes. We say yes because we have learned the subtle art of the demand question, the question demand. So I smile, and we pull over. The view is arresting. Unscarred, the hillsides heave with plump tea leaves and trees teem with ripe mangoes, layered crowns of green gold bananas and spiky, fragrant jackfruit. You stare and stare, drinking in the landscapes and instantly giving full absolution for any earlier annoyances. They've been dissolved by the sky. These textured layers of greens and the crystalline waters. You have never seen unadulterated beauty like this, and you have seen a lot of beauty in your travels. A place like this has so much potential. If it would just work on its roads and air conditioning and decent cocktails. You swat away at your leg. A ripple in the grass tells me that the uninvited guest got away unharmed. Tomorrow, you will wake up to an angry nap of bristled red bumps that itch and ache and pus before they finally heal. An unintended souvenir. You say, clawing frantically at your skin. Who knew such beauty could hide such terrible things? I smile. Finally, a place to begin. You know, I know just what you mean, I reply. Thank you.